now when it says connected? All right, and we are live. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Wonky Power Live sessions today, this evening. You were tuned in, and we are about to witness Shane Monds and friends, Arpita and Jason. Thank you so much for being here, guys. How y'all feeling?
Feeling great.
Y'all look great. Y'all are sounding great, and the sound check was incredible. We are extremely excited to have you here with us, and everybody watching at home. You can go to the YouTube channel and you can go ahead and there leave your comments, and if you have any questions at all, you can leave them on there, and when we get to the interview segment, we can address those questions to the group. And yeah, thank you so much. And we have our good friend David Garrick here with closed caption, and he will be handling the interview segment for us. David?
You guys ready to get going?
I believe so.
Let's do it.
Cool. Let's do it. Thanks for coming.
All right. So before we get started, I just want to kind of first say a few thank yous. Of course, we have to thank Mario and all of the Wonky Power crew who've set all this up for us. They have done an exceptional job with the audio quality today and spent a lot of time with us, and it's really a privilege to be able to play some live music. There's a live audience right in the patio outside with a big screen TV and some great speakers, and even that in these types of days feels like such a breath of fresh air to have someone who's here listening to music for us. As a musician, it's been a crazy, wild year, and this is really only the second live concert I've played since March of 2020, and the other one was also produced by Mario with Downtown Houston. We did a concert in May, and so I thought a lot about that concert because in that concert we were in a very different place in May, and I played Rag Malhar, which was a monsoon raga, and we talked a little bit about kind of that and how it felt appropriate symbolically. So today I decided, as we approach spring, to play some springtime ragas. So because I feel like even though things aren't entirely back to normal, and probably never will quite be back to normal, we're approaching something that we can be grateful for. Particularly grateful for doctors, nurses, all the people who worked on the vaccine. Grateful that they've rolled that out so fast. Grateful that we've been able to access some of it. Teachers. Arpita herself is a doctor. She's joining us here on Tanpura. Jason's the teacher. So we're grateful that all of the healthcare workers have truly been on the front line, and it could have gone on a lot longer than a year if we didn't have so many people working so hard at the front line. So I also want to thank teachers, particularly my Indian music teachers, of course. My sitar guru, Abhik Mukherjee. I also want to thank David Courtney, Chandrakantha Courtney, two of my other Indian gurus, Srinivas Kumundori. But really all my music teachers who guided me, probably over 100 teachers between classroom music teachers, college professors, people who taught me music when I was a young kid, cousins, family members, just the amount of people that it takes to make one musician. It's really 100 people, probably. And if I didn't have so many people behind me, I would be able to do nothing. So I really want to thank teachers, especially in times like these. It's a very difficult time for teachers and music teachers especially, who just keep on trucking with those online lessons and taking extreme precautions. So I feel super grateful for my teachers, and I feel grateful that we have an audience. It's music without an audience is not really almost anything. You have to have someone to give this gift to. And so I'm grateful that there's an audience here today, especially a live audience, because when you sit down and you're hearing the same sound that the musicians are hearing, and that you're in the same room sharing that experience, that's where a profound musical experience can happen. I don't want to diminish live streams. They've kept us going, and it's really wonderful. I have people all over the country who are able to see this, people in India who are able to watch this right now. So that's something fantastic. But watching at home on TV is just not quite the same, and you're not geared for that profound experience that you are with a live audience. So I really want to thank Mario, who's taken all the precautions to make this necessary to have a live audience tonight. So I'm going to get started in just a second. I'm going to be presenting a full raga exposition on sitar, alap, jor, jala. And I know a lot of our audience might not be familiar with Indian classical music or sitar music, so I'm going to just very briefly talk about that. A raga is the heart of Indian melody. It's kind of a conceptual melody. There's hundreds of ragas, there's thousands of theoretical ragas, there's hundreds of ragas that are performed, and they're all like kind of based on a scale, based on certain notes that are important, based on certain gestures that are important, but there's all this extra musical stuff. Things about what aesthetic qualities, what emotions are brought into the music. There's things about the imagery that's brought into the music. And all that kind of coalesces together to make a raga. And that's kind of a conceptual identity. And from that conceptual identity, we draw out a completely new musical melody. So every time I play this raga, a lot of it is quite the same because it's quite conceptually similar, but it's also entirely new. So what I'm doing right now is exposing the raga in a slow tempo, first with just a few amount of notes on the sitar, and it'll expand across the whole instrument. And then gradually it'll pick up in rhythm, and that's when the jor and jala commence. And then it'll be very rhythmic and very exciting, hopefully, almost exuberant, scintillating, climax at the end of that. And then we'll take a break. So it's a long experience. It's almost a process of listening. And so if you're at home on TV or something, I encourage you to just kind of sit back and soak it in. It's about a 20-minute to 20-hour experience, and alap can go as long as the artist really wants it to go. So this is going to be alap in rag Bhaira Bahar. So Bahar is spring. Bahar means spring. And it's a raga into itself, and Bhairav is a raga into itself. And Bhairav is one of the most important of all the ragas. It's one of the oldest ragas, and in fact it's almost an image of Shiva. It's this like awe-inspiring devotional raga that's often played early in the morning, where Bahar is a springtime raga, almost joyful and played late at night. So the marriage of Bhairav and Bahar is what this raga is. It's kind of both scales, both ragas being jammed together like two fabrics being woven together. And thought it's particularly appropriate, not just because it's spring and there's this, symbolism of spring in what we're going through, but also Bhairav, it happens to be Shivratri yesterday, which is the celebration of Shiva, so it's appropriate to play Bhairav, but also because you take this joyous spring raga and you color it with this kind of intense emotional devotion. So that's a little bit of what's going to happen. Rag Bhairav Bahar, alap, jor, jala. Afterwards, Jason and I will play some music with tabla, and I'll be excited to talk about that. But first, the alap.
What am I hearing? Dude, I'm hearing something. Oh, she's still.
Thanks.
It sounds great. You guys sound really amazing. It's really mesmerizing. So Shane, how do you know Jason on tabla and arpita?
Yeah, so Jason and I've played together at least 5 or 6 times. Jason and I met just at an Indian music concert. I had seen him online. His guru, Pandit Shantilal Shah, is a very esteemed guru here in town. Jason can talk about it, but he lived with him and studied with him in the traditional guru shishya parampara style, where Jason actually lived with Shantilal Shah ji. So he was around a lot of the Indian music circle here in Houston, and I had seen a video of him online, and really I was helping clean up after a concert that I knew another person who was organizing that concert, and Jason was also cleaning up, and I just like tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I saw that you play tabla." And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "I play sitar. If you ever want to practice sometime, let's do that." And thus it began. And actually this brings me to something I want to say. Jason sadly is leaving. He's moving to New York. And this is last month here. So it's a very great experience to get to play with him one more time. Arpita is a sitarist in her own right who practices with me. So she's been very nice to oblige and play the drone, the tanpura, for us tonight. So thank you, Arpita. Yeah, and she was introduced to me by Govind Shetty ji, who's the president of the Indian Music Society, and she had said, "Hey, do you know someone who has sitar?" And I had some extra sitars, and anyway.
Well, that's cool. So, I mean, most of us that grow up in the Western world kind of gravitate more towards rock or pop or hip hop. How did you get into sitar?
Yeah, so, well, I'm a Western classical musician. I went to, music school, got 3 degrees in Western classical music. And it was in my master's I started getting really into the 1960s avant-garde Western classical composers, Lamont Young, Terry Riley, Philip Glass, all these guys who kind of lived in Soho in New York had connections with Philip Glass with Ravi Shankar, and Terry Riley and Lamont Young with Pandit Prannath. And they had taken a lot of their music and done some really interesting things in the Western avant-garde. And to really kind of understand the music of those guys, you kind of have to understand Indian music theory. So I kind of got introduced to that, and then I got introduced to some Indian vocal music through that, and it was phenomenal. Of course, I knew always peripherally about Ravi Shankar, but the style of sitar I play is actually based on, it's called the Etawa Gharana, Imdad Khani, Vilayat Khani style. So I got introduced to some of the vocal music, and because I played classical guitar, because I played string instruments since I was a young boy, I figure if I'm going to have an entryway into Indian classical music, because to really understand it, you have to do it, since it's like a process and since it involves improvisation. I had to do it, and since I already had thick calluses on my fingers, and I already knew how to do this pretty well, I had strong fingers from classical guitar, I thought, okay, sitar is the easiest, rather than choose something like flute or voice. So I started down that road, but followed the Etawa Gharana style because I had, at that time in my life, not heard of Ustad Vilayat Khan, who's really one of the greatest sitarists who's ever. So became completely enthralled with that. Decided I had to learn that style, and then down the rabbit hole I went.
Yeah, I noticed there's so many different types of sitar. When you look it up, you're like, oh my God, there's just so many varying versions of the instrument. Can you kind of explain a little bit about the type you're playing tonight?
Yeah. So there's a lot more than 2 types of sitar, but if we have to overgeneralize, there's the style that was made popular by Ravi Shankar and Nikhil Banerjee, which involves some bass strings and is played in a very different manner. And that which is played by Ustad Vilayat Khan, his sons Shujat and Hidayat Khan, and also the other members of his family, Shahid Parvez Khan, Imrat Khan. So there's kind of those 2 different large schools. Now there's many other smaller schools of sitar that are very beautiful that use a different style of sitar. But this style of sitar is Etwa Gharana, Imdad Khani, Vilayat Khani. And actually I'm glad you asked me, because I was going to mention something about that, because tomorrow is actually the anniversary of Ustad Vilayat Khan's passing, 17 years. And I'll be playing a composition by him in the next set. So that's very important. But our style of sitar, it took off the bass strings and it added extra harmony strings. So I have so my drone strumming strings have more richness. There's extra strings there, and there's not the bass strings. So it's a little bit different than the kind of Nikhil Banerjee and Ravi Shankarji style.
So you just kind of make it your own, if you will.
I mean, all music you kind of make your own, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
I mean, you've performed in places like St. Peter's Basilica. I mean...
But not Indian music. That was Western music.
Not in Indian music, correct. But do you find a grand difference between venues, or is it all just performing a show?
Oh, well, venue matters a lot. I mean, I won't talk too much, but in my Western composition, I almost always compose for a very specific site. Often an art exhibit, an installation. A lot of my works have to do with collaborating with visual arts, space. And so that really matters a lot, especially in my Western music. And that the acoustic of the room. With Indian music, it's a little different. Rather than so much outward, it's a very inward art. You know, so rather than collaborating with like an art space and something, Indian music, you just have to drill really deep into yourself, and that's where you have to find the fruit.
I mean, you've worked on scores for film, and you've traveled the globe studying music. Do you feel that artists the globe over really just want their music to be heard?
Yeah, I mean, well, of course every artist wants their music to be heard, but I did have a teacher who said, you know, a life where you're the biggest star in the world in music is a life in music worth living. One where you're the second biggest tier is a life in music worth living. One where you only play for your local community is a life in music worth living. One where you only play alone in your room is a life in music worth living. So I would say, of course, we want to get out and have our music played, but any life filled with music, even if you're just kind of jamming in your room alone with your amp on an electric guitar, is a life in music worth living. Yeah.
Final question. I know you're a composer and you teach various instruments, including sitar, piano, classical guitars. Are there elements to each that you find yourself preferring over another, or are they all different vehicles and different forms of creation?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, but they're all, I do kind of compartmentalize them a little bit. I don't do too much fusing of the instruments. So I do think of them almost like I don't know, this is a crass metaphor, but like food. Sometimes you want to have Japanese food, sometimes you want to have Mexican food. And so, I mean, sometimes there's a place for wanting to play piano all night, and there's a place for wanting to play sitar all night. And it's sometimes the mood I'm in, sometimes the gig that I'm obliged to play.
That's cool. Well, thanks so much. Y'all ready to play the next set?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to have to take a minute to retune. Not to say anything about this instrument, but every time we change a raga, we're going to retune the instrument because that's kind of the necessity.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. Okay, so good to talk? Yep. Okay, so for the second half, the first thing we're going to start with, I had just presented Rag Bahar. So now we're going to play some compositions with tabla in Rag Bahar. So you'll hear a lot of similar motions, a lot of similar notes, but it's going to be very different because now Bhaira is gone. So now we just have the string raga of Bahar. Bahar has all these beautiful, joyful movements up in the higher register of the sitar, and often at a faster pace. So we're going to play a medium tempo composition first in a 10-beat rhythm cycle, and then we're going to play a fast composition in 16-beat rhythm cycle. I'll just have Jason, I don't know, let's just demonstrate the rhythm cycle, because what's going to be happening is I'll be playing the composition, which is like a short line, almost like you can think of it like a jazz head motive. And then we're going to play lots of variations, and we're going to do lots of improvisations, and then keep coming back to that head motive. So the 10-beat cycle is 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3. So yeah, D, na, D, na, then, na, D, na, D, na, D, na, then, na, D, na. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. So that's kind of the rhythm that we're going to be jamming in. If you're tapping your foot along, you'll be tapping it 10 times. A lot. I don't know. And then the 16-beat cycle is very normal, or the most common. It's kind of 4 plus 4 plus 4. Yeah, you can play. And we'll be playing it much faster. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3. So, we'll play it a little faster than that, but we'll be, second half of this piece will jam in 16 beats. So, I'm going to start with a little bit of alap, not 20 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, to show you what Rag Bahar is on the instrument, and then we'll start our pieces. All right, thanks. Okay, so now we're gonna do the composition in 16 beats, and this is one made famous by Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahib. Last we'll just play something short. This is Raga Pilu. Raga Pilu is a sometimes often treated like a lighter raga. It mixes a lot of different ragas. We won't get to show too much of that in a short period of time, so we're just gonna play a little bit of alap, 2 or 3 minutes. Then we're gonna play a fast composition. And this fast composition is by Ustad Inayat Khan Sahab, the father of Vilayat Khan Sahab, who Inayat Khan Sahab was the second generation of sitarists in this lineage, and lived at the beginning of the 20th century. And so this composition is by him. Beautiful. Okay.
Tabla stable tune.
incredible, guys. How y'all feeling? That was incredible. Oh my goodness. We're fucking like, I'm sorry. Oh, we're not supposed to be cursing. Sorry, guys.
We're definitely jamming in here.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
All right.
Thank you, David. Let's bring down the reverb, please.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man. How are you guys feeling?
Warm.
Yeah.
Hands got warm finally.
It got warmer in here.
It's good. It felt
You got a little warm?
Yeah.
You want me to turn up the AC again?
No, we're all good. Yeah.
Kidding. Guys, we really appreciate you guys being here with us for the Wonky Power Live sessions. You guys, we have a lot of viewers. We have a lot of people commenting, really expressing their emotions towards the music, towards the performance. So we really appreciate you guys being here. With that being said, I want to just really quickly go into the comment section and get a few questions going. By the way, Shane, your wife says that it's amazing and she loves it.
Well, I have to thank her. She's allowed me to, bother her so much with this instrument in her house continuously. So I owe her lots of thanks.
There you go.
Lots and lots.
Thank you so much, Shane's wife, for letting him be over here with us. Thank you so much. And a question here. Let me just browse through all the comments here. And anybody that's watching, if you have a few questions, go to the chat and please type your questions. So we have one here. Perhaps this was answered before, but why did Shane study the Itawa Garana compared to the Mayar Garana? What would he describe as the biggest stylistic differences?
So, why? Well, okay, well, I don't want to step on any toes here. The Etawa Gharana is supposedly the Gharana where Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahib had gone for more vocalism in the way that he played. All Indian music is based on the voice, so that doesn't mean that Maihar is not vocalist. Maihar takes a lot of its rhythmic structure from Drupad, which is an older style, and the bean, the big bass instrument that's strung, and really the only instrument that normally plays Drupad style in the traditional way. And so Maihar takes a lot of those bean strokes. Now Ravi Shankar came from the Maihar tradition, and then he added a lot more to it and used a lot of different tals, a lot of different rhythm cycles. And Maihar is very rhythmic, very exciting. Also, a lot of counting in Maihar. Whereas, what I mean by a lot of counting is it takes a lot of cues from tabla and tabla compositions. Whereas the Etawa Gharana is based on vocal music and uses a lot of vocal compositions and takes a lot of the vocalisms. And it also is much more of a ambient instrument. There's a lot more resonance going on. I don't want to say resonance, but there's a lot more kind of ringiness and the way that the voice plays and the way that the characteristics of the meend are played. And the biggest difference is generally the Etawa Gharana has a little bit more smooth bridge sound. It doesn't have that really buzzy sound that you associate with, say, Ravi Shankar ji. So it's just very different in the tonal quality. And I found that really attractive. Maybe it's because I had heard Maihar. I think everyone had heard of Ravi Shankar. Maybe I'm wrong, but I had heard of him growing up, of course.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah,
so absolutely.
And so we all know of Ravi
most of us
Shankar.
did.
And so when you first hear Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahib, you're like, whoa, this is still sitar. Wow, okay, this is very different. And then you start getting sucked in.
Absolutely, man.
So I guess.
There's a extremely amazing tonal quality going on in that room right now that just takes you to a place that it's very hard to describe, especially being here for a few hours with you all performing. And I'm not used to these types of sounds and just the instrumentation, just absolutely delightful to really listen and understand and just be a part of it. So just me personally, thank you so much for being here, guys. I think that there are. Let me make sure that I went through all this. There's just a lot of comments, guys. There's not really a lot of questions. Everybody's just very happy. You know,
Good thing.
yeah, everybody's just really happy. Nice, Shane. This is great. You know, sitar nerds like myself would love to know who built his sitar. Okay.
Oh
there you
yeah,
go. There
that's
you
a
go.
good one. I should give a shout out to Sanjay Sharma, Ricky Ram. He's one of the descendants of great sitar luthier Bishan Das Sharma, who was the one who's made sitars for all the great artists. So,
Wow. Incredible.
you know, he made some for Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab. He's made, you know, Bishan Das Sharma, his father had made some for Ravi Shankar ji. Sanjay has worked on Ravi Shankar ji's.
Mhm.
Sanjay makes them for Anushka Shankar. And Sanjay, he has the Ricky Ram shop in New Delhi, but he's now based outside of New York.
Okay.
And so he's one of the few luthiers who's also working here in the U.S. I had a few instruments flooded.
Oh, no.
Back in Harvey,
Really?
and I
How
decided.
did that work out? Were you able to retrieve any of those and repair them? How does that work out for
You know, I
some
put them on
instruments
my
like that?
bed when we bounced out from the flood, but we got
Mm.
about 4 feet of water, so they floated off
Jeez.
the bed, and then water got into the case, and they were kind of.
Jeez, sorry to hear that, man.
No, that's okay because it gave me the opportunity to go look for a luthier to make me an instrument. So I asked around, and I decided to go with Sanjay ji, who had made this one for me. So this one I commissioned from him about 3 years ago. So it delivered to me 3 years ago, January.
That's incredible, man. Real quick, just again, here we go. Tell Jason he can't leave Houston. What's going on, Jason? You're leaving Houston? Tell us a little bit about that. Can we have Jason say something on that microphone about that? What's going on, man? You leaving us? Why?
Yeah.
You're pulling a James Harden on us? What's going on?
No James Harden. No James Harden.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going next month to New York for a few years.
Oh,
my,
wow, okay.
My fiance's in graduate school there.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
I'm going to go help her out for a little while.
Wow, that's great.
Get her through school, take myself a little sabbatical
Nice.
out in nature, and then hopefully come back.
The nature of New York City.
Well, we're going to be outside of New York City,
Oh, okay.
not in the city. So,
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to
Thanks.
you and your fiance.
yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Wish I had come and met y'all earlier.
Yeah,
it's a great
man.
place you have.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jason.
Yeah.
And Arpita, somebody says great performance. Thank you, everyone, and glad that you told us about this, Arpita. Thank you so much for spreading the word around, Arpita. And also, somebody mentioned earlier that you were able to get everybody COVID vaccines in the room. So, thank you so much for doing that. By the way, that's really incredible. Thank you for all the work that you've been doing. I'm sure that it's been a crazy past year already for you. So we appreciate your hard work that you've been doing behind the scenes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there's not that many questions, just a lot of great comments. Everybody just loving everything. Great performance, and hats off to the performance for a brilliant night. And just wow, Shane, wow, Arpita, wow, Jason, don't leave, this and that. Yeah,
Well, maybe there aren't questions because the music speaks for itself.
absolutely. I agree to that. Yeah. But guys, thank you so much from
No, thank you.
the bottom of our hearts. Thank you all so much for being here, Shane. And I'm going to, if you guys have any ending comments or anything like that,
No, I'm happy to play this concert. It was very nice to get to sit down. The stage is the best teacher. And I mean, of course it's a performance, but it's a lesson. It's a lesson on what the camera and the stage and the recording mics do to you and how to learn. And it's really just a step. And so hopefully there's more steps like this. Hopefully there's more opportunities to perform, which means more opportunities to learn. So I think Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab said one concert on stage is worth 1 month of practice. So
That's
when
a
you
good one.
when you go on stage, it's as if it advances you 1 month as a musician, because the stage is a brutal but good teacher.
It definitely is, man.
That's super true.
What about Jason, Arpita? You have any ending comments that you guys would like to say? pass the mic around? Anything? Any shout outs?
Just-
Anything?
Just it was a pleasure, and
thank you.
guys for the great sound and setting up for this. Really easy. It was great.
Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate you.
I'm just going to echo what he said, but yeah, thank you so much for putting all of this together. It
Thank-
was really fun,
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
glad
for
you had a
coming.
good time.
of course.
Yeah. Well, guys, everybody, thank you all so much for tuning in to the Wonky Power Live sessions. We had Shane Monds, Jason, and Arpita providing incredible music for us. So you could check this out. It's on our website and our YouTube, so you can rewatch it tonight. It's going to be up forever. So enjoy it. Thank y'all so much. And we have David Gary with closed caption going to be doing the ending credits. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like. That helps us out a ton. Also, if you want to live stream anything, whether it be a concert or a wedding announcement or a wedding itself, hit up everybody at wonkypower.com for more information. They can do this kind of stuff for you anytime, especially during right now. Thanks for watching.
Sweet. Turn off this drone.